back with another on review, and today we're going to talk about review Collateral Damage, which stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and directed by Andrew Davis. Now, the plot to the film, Arnold's character is this firefighter, and one day his family, is killed in this explosion, and it turned out to be a bomb, and the man responsible is this Colombian terrorist known as the Wolf. And Arnold's character, he wants answers, but he believes that the government they're more concerned about other things than, finding the man that's responsible. So Arnold decides to, take matters into his own hands by, going down to Colombia and tracking down the Wolf. And, yeah, so, that's kind of the plot here. And again, Andrew Davis, directed the film, and I do like Andrew Davis. This is the same director that directed Code of Silence with Chuck Norris, Above the Law with Steven Seagal, and then he would work with Seagal again on Under Siege, and he also directed The Fugitive, which is a great movie, Chain Reaction, which is a decent one with Keanu Reeves. It's kind of like a light version of The Fugitive, but I still like the film. And I felt he did a good job here directing. I think he directed like a couple of more films after this, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's just retired or what, but I do like his work. The cast here, looking at the cast, again, Arnold is good here in the film. You also have some other people in the film that you recognize, like John Leguizamo as Felix. From Spawn, the first two John Wick films, Luigi, Super Mario Brothers movie. He's in the film here for a little bit. You also have Elias Cotis. Yeah, Casey Jones from the first Ninja Turtles film. He's good here in the film. You also have Cliff Curtis, who's our main villain here, El Lobo, or the Wolf. This guy you've seen before. He was in Live Free and Die Hard. And I believe he was also in The Meg. But, that's a guy that, okay, I've seen him before in other stuff. And he did a good job as the villain. You also have John Turturro. Yeah, from The Big Lebowski. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A really good actor. And, he has a small part in the film. It's not a whole lot, but it's cool to see him in the film. Let me see. Raymond Cruz, that's a guy that you've seen before. Arnold's wife in the film is played by Lindsay Frost, and she was in The Ring. She was in Dead Heat. Frasier. I'm just looking at the different names here. The wife of the Wolf, our villain here in the film, she is played by Francisca Neri, and she was in Hannibal, Live Flesh, and she hasn't really done too much in the last 5 years, but I thought she was good here in the film. Okay, so I guess the little boy that plays the son of the Wolf is Tyler Posey, and he's known for Teen Wolf. I'm like, why do I know that name? And I'm like, yeah, he was in Teen Wolf. But I like the cast here. As far as the characters and stuff, the thing is about this film here, for example, Arnold's character, he never carries a gun. And that's one thing about the film that was great to notice. Arnold's character in the film, when he's in Colombia, he uses wits, he's very resourceful. You never see him pick up a weapon, so throughout the film, when he's trying to, track down our villain here, again, he's using his mind, to get out of a situation. I'm not saying he's a MacGyver, but, again, it's all about using your resources. And Arnold's character is a very resourceful character. And there's some, decent action bits, throughout the film. I mean, it's not, wall to wall action, but you get some decent moments. I mean, you got the scene where these guys are chasing after Arnold through the jungle and he goes down a waterfall. That's a good scene. And you got this bit where, Arnold breaks out of this jail. I mean, you get some decent moments there. And, I mean, you kind of get some stuff later on where, you know, the one part where Elias Cotese's character, they come in and Arnold beats up a few people. And then you got some fun stuff in the third act where the wolf, comes back to the States and Arnold finds out that, the wife is tied to our villain here and that, she's also, dangerous and that Arnold has to stop them both, which leads to a good fight in the third act, like the finale, where Arnold is taking on, the lone wolf and his wife. Some good, kind of ground and pound fights. And that's more so like throughout the film. I mean, again, it's not wall-to-wall gunplay, action, what have you, but it's more about, you see Arnold throw some punches, some kind of good ground and pound type of fights. And then, a good fight in the finale. And the villain gets a decent comeuppance. So, the action here is fine. The pacing moved at a, pacing was good. I mean, it's an hour and 40-minute film or 45-minute film. I mean, the score I didn't mind. So, again, the characters were fine. The cast, it was cool to see like John Leguizamo, John Turturro in there. And I remember seeing this in the theater when it came out. It came out back in February of 2002. And I saw this in the theater. Now, originally it was supposed to come out October of 2001, but because of the terrorism theme and 9/11, they postponed it to February of '02. But yeah, I saw this in the theater, and then like a year later, seeing T3, because at this time I'm like before Collateral Damage, like I never saw an Arnold film in a theater. Like I never saw, End of Days or, Jing All the Way or any of them. Like, Collateral Damage was like the first Arnold film that I saw in the theater. And then T3, which I saw a year later, which is not a good movie. And overall, Collateral Damage, it's a good Arnold film. It's solid. It's some good bits of action, some good thrills and suspense. Again, Andrew Davis does a good job directing here. Now, if I compare this film to the films he directed before, I mean, yes, I would rather watch Under Siege more, The Fugitive. And I kind of wonder a little bit, because I know this film gets like a 5.5 in IMDb. And maybe we can talk about this down below. But why do you think, this film here, falls short a little bit of, Under Siege or The Fugitive? I mean, you have the same director. I don't know, maybe, what do you guys think about that? Because I love even Code of Silence. That's another great movie. I mean, I'd rather watch that a little bit more. Above the Law, I'd rather watch that a little bit more. He's a really good director. But I just wonder why, like, as much as I like this film, again, it's still a solid Arnold film. But, why do you think, this film kind of falls short of those movies, especially like, let's say, Under Siege, The Fugitive, which are both great 90s action. Well, The Fugitive is more of a thriller, but, both are classics. So maybe we can talk about that down below. But again, Arnold's still good in the film, good supporting cast, some, again, good bits of action, moved at a good pace, and it's a straightforward, If you want to say revenge flick, Arnold's family gets killed. He takes matters into his own hands. And that's pretty much it. Arnold goes after these people with no weapons, no guns, just his mind and the resources. So, you can kind of relate, especially at this time. Around 2002, you can relate to a character like this. But that's it. That's my review of Collateral Damage. Thank you for watching. And up next is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.